A new Christmas single, her first Christmas single. We're going to be talking about Christmas Snow, and we've got Makenzie Phipps with us today. And Makenzie, I appreciate you carving some time out to visit with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I've really been looking forward to it. So thank you. Thank
Hopefully, we can live up to
you.
that.
I'm sure we will.
Now, Mackenzie, when did you know that you had something special in music? When did you know that you had a calling to do some music in your life?
Yeah, so I started singing when I was 4 years old in church with my mama. I would just mess around on the piano. I would play little notes of songs that I heard other people sing. And from that point on, she was like, oh, well, she really likes to sing. So she would take me to her house and get me into singing hymns at my church every Sunday. And, I come from a musical family as it is. My Uncle Ronnie actually was a very, very talented songwriter and musician and singer. And he actually wrote songs for Alison Krauss and Johnny
Wow.
Cash's brother. So I've always been around music my entire life. And, I started playing my first instrument, which was the piano, at age 10. And then from that point on, I attended a music school where other teens and kids can go and do music as well. And it kind of taught me the ropes to learning how to perform out in public and showing me how to really be comfortable on stage and such. And then at 15, that's when I basically started performing out in public and started writing my own songs. And ever since then, that's what I've been doing every weekend.
It's been a whirlwind ever since, right?
Yes.
Now, how much different is the songwriting for you now as opposed to 15-year-old Mackenzie?
Well, honestly, it's not too different because I'm one of those people where whenever I write songs, it has to be about something that has occurred in my life. So I wrote my first song when I was 15 about this boy that I was absolutely obsessed with in eighth grade. And then from that point on, I just started getting more into songwriting. And anytime I went through an obstacle in life where I was very passionate about something, I just basically wrote off that. So nothing really has changed too much. I think my wording has definitely gotten a lot better, and also adding accompaniment has gotten a lot better since then. But as far as the writing process goes, it's pretty much the same.
Now, what was it that prompted you to get the first Christmas song out there for you, the first Christmas release, and how exciting is it to have a Christmas release out under your name as well?
It is so so exciting. I never thought that I would actually have my own Christmas song going out there because you always hear all the Christmas songs during holiday season, but you never really think about writing one. And it's actually quite funny because this song was actually a very 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 last minute project. I had 1 week to do this song. So I got with my other songwriter, who's Shane Begley, and he's a very, very talented singer, songwriter, musician, the whole nine yards. And he helps me with a lot of songs that I have written, as far as he'll help me with accompaniment or just some words, or I'll work on some songs that he's wrote. And given that he's written probably 1,000 songs, I asked him, I was like, so do you have a Christmas song that we can like work on so we don't have to write one? And he was like, no, actually, I've never wrote a Christmas song. So I was like, great. So, during that whole process, we kind of realized that we are not the best at writing Christmas songs under pressure. So, it actually got down to the very last day before we were supposed to go in studio, and we had nothing. And I texted him while he was at work, and I said, all right, you have to come up with something. Like, start something, send it to me, and I will finish it. I was like, I don't care if it's a line, I don't care. I was like, we got to do something. So he had written the first verse and the chorus of what he had gotten, and he sent it to me, and I changed around some words, and I kind of went along with whatever storyline he had already created. And from that point on, I finished the rest of the song. I added music to it. I brought him over that day before. I was like, all right, we got to go over this. We got to do it. So we went over it, and I looked at him. I was like, all right, this is it's a little rough, but that's okay. We're going to go in the studio and pray that it all falls out. And it exceeded my expectations, to say the least. I was so, so happy with how it came out. I was especially happy to also have Rhonda Vincent's dobro player play on that song as well. So that was very, very cool and very exciting. I think it really added that final touch to what I was looking for because I was looking for a country Christmas song, which I don't really see much of these days. So it definitely exceeded my expectation.
Now, what was that? What was that last week? I mean, were you getting any sleep at all, worrying about getting it done?
Well, you see, my mom, she gets really aggravated because my mom's a very type A person where she's like everything has to have a plan, it has to be organized and executed on time, and I am opposite. I'm like I'm both type A and type B in a sense that like I'm a huge perfectionist, but as far as getting stuff done in a timely manner, I wait until the very last minute to do it. So she was the one that was kind of pushing me and Shane to get on it. And it was actually funny because one day during the week, I told him I was like, "Oh, we have to come and we have to work on it." And we took 3 hours and we couldn't come up with anything at all. And my mom had called me and she's like, "I'm about to pull in the house. I want to hear what y'all have written." And I looked and I was like, "We have to leave. We have to leave. We have nothing. We have nothing to show her. She's gonna be so mad." So I was like, "We gotta go get something. We gotta go get food so I can come up with a distraction." So we left, and then that final day, I was like, "We have to do something. We have to come up with something." But I'm very glad that it came out very well in the end.
Now, what is the your best way to deal with writer's block? Do you have something that you do whenever you're having those moments of block?
Well, typically, if I'm not on a time crunch, typically songs come very easy to me when I write them. Like every song that I have written has basically been in one day. And that's when I don't have a time crunch. Typically, I'll get something in my mind and I'm like, I gotta write something about that, or it'll like dwindle in my mind and stay there for a bit. So then it just all flows. But then, as far as during that encounter, I was just kind of like, you know what? We're just gonna wing it and hope for the best. We're gonna work with what is presented and go with it.
Now, who are the songwriting influences in your music? Who do you get inspired by?
Well, I definitely love Miss Ashley McBride. I love all of her songs. I think her songs are very, very well written, and I'm so glad that she's now starting to get a lot of recognition now,
Mhm.
especially with performing at the CMAs. I was very happy to see her performance. And I've honestly been really digging Luke Combs now because he did that one song at the CMAs that I feel it completely floored me because I was like, this song speaks for every single musician or singer in this entire world that I know a lot of people who are not in the music field will probably not relate to or understand as much. But I'm absolutely in love with that song, and it's called Doing This. So if y'all haven't heard that, y'all gotta go check it out because I absolutely love that. But those are two very, very important people that I really like their songwriting skills.
Now, being a part of Nashville, I know you're not in Nashville at the moment, but being a part of the Nashville scene, when you first made the trek to Nashville, doing some work, what was it like coming into the city, knowing, aha, I'm finally going to do some work here?
Well, I had went to Nashville back in May, I believe that was the month, because I actually had to go for a business trip because I was very fortunate to have 7 billboards with my single Maybe released on them. So I was very, very fortunate and so thrilled to have that opportunity. And when I went down there, we got to walk throughout the city and it kind of sucks right now for me because a lot of the bars that I would like to go into to actually hear the entertainment, I'm not old enough to go into. So, so I have one friend, and her name is Francelle, and she does a lot of work down there. And I had messaged her one day, and I told her I was like, I would love to come and see you in Nashville and stuff. And I told her I was like, the only issue is I just can't get into half the places you play at. But I was very, very very happy to go into Tootsie's, and there was a band playing, and Shane looked at me and he was like, "I'm gonna get you up there to play," and I was like, "Yeah, okay, good luck with that." And we were all standing there, and the lead singer of the band that was playing, she came down and was taking a tip bucket around. And he had a $50 bill, and he went, "I will give you this if you let her go up and sing a song." And she was like, "All right, that's cool." So they let me go up on stage, and I got to sing not only one song but two. So I was very, very fortunate. And then I guess at that moment, that's when I was like, I want to come here. I want to do music here. I want to get into the field. I want to make it.
What is it for you? What is it about Nashville and Music City that really screams out to you?
Well, I come from a very, very small town. Like, it's very, very small. It's Bluefield, Virginia. And I always tell people all the time that the most excitement we get here is our Walmart. I'm not even joking. Like, we have a mall and nobody goes to it. Everybody goes to Walmart to go hang out at. But whenever you go down, when I went to Nashville and I was able to really connect with a lot of artists there, and I saw how much work they were putting forth, and I was like, I'm in the exact same position that they are in. And I just felt very connected, and I felt like that was where I belonged because I love my small town, but a lot of people here don't really understand how much work is done and put forth for a musician and a singer. That's why I had written a song called Behind the Scenes because, I was at school one day and I had to leave early because I had a show. And I came back the next day and I had missed a test the day before. And I asked my friend, I was like, oh, well, would you mind telling me what was on that test so that I can kind of get an idea? And they had looked at me and they were like, well, maybe if you didn't leave to go to one of your little shows, then you would know. And, that kind of, I guess in a sense, I had to look at their perspective and I was like, they don't really understand that this is a job. Like, it's a very hard working job. And I sat at my house and I was like, I want to write a song about just the struggles that a musician deals with, and that everybody sees that you're doing all of these great things in the music world, but they don't really know what was put into getting there. So I wrote that song just to give people on the outside an idea of, it's hard work to be able to do all this stuff and to be presented in the public eye and to get where you want to be. And that song, I wrote it specifically for my life and where I'd like to see my life go in music. But I think the overall theme of that song is anything that you're putting forth work in, people see the end result all the time, but they don't see the behind the scenes action of how they got there.
That is good stuff. That is good stuff. Now, the single that is out there, the Christmas single is available. What is to come in 2022? What's the new year look like for you?
Well, I'm very, very excited to be working on this one project. Like I was saying, I started singing when I was 4 years old in church with my mama. And my mama, she has been such a great support system with my music. She always pushed me to do so many different things. And as time has went on, she has developed Alzheimer's. So, it's been a very, very tough thing to deal with, especially when it first started, which I believe it started about 5 years ago. My family doesn't really know, but just with her mindset, I think it was around 5 or so years ago it started to come. And she's in very, very great condition now. Like, she still knows a lot of us. She knows our family. But I brought her over here to get her ready because I was taking her out for her birthday because she hadn't went out in a while. And people who have relatives or friends in their lives who suffer with Alzheimer's or dementia, they know that sometimes they have good days, some days they have great days, and sometimes they have not so great days. And that day I brought her over it happened to be a not so great day. So, it really stresses myself out and it stresses my mom out because just have to really work with her and try to get her to do stuff and to be reasonable. And I was sitting on my couch and I started getting really teary eyed because I was like, it just really sucks when you have somebody that you love start to lose all of their memories and lose who they are as a person. So I started writing on my phone. I'd written like 2 lines on my phone. I was like, whatever. And then I went to a doctor's appointment one day, and I don't know why, but for whatever reason, it just was stuck in my head. I was like, I have to finish this. So on my way to the doctor's office, I was writing it the entire time I went to the doctor's office. And when I came back, I got my guitar, and my mom was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I just finished a song and I have to get the music to it. And I'm very, very excited to be launching this project because as I wrote the song and I finished it, and I realized in this world that there's not many songs subject around Alzheimer's or dementia. And that is something that I feel a lot of people struggle with in their life, especially with relatives. And I feel as though this song will definitely shine light on a very, very touchy and tough situation that I know millions of people do deal with every single day. And just the people that I have let listen to, it has really touched their hearts, and it's made me very, very happy that I was able to do that through my music. And I feel that this song will definitely help a lot of people with coping with it if they're in the situation or if they've lost a loved one with it. So hopefully this will be released in April, but I'm very excited to be doing the music video to it. And yeah, the most information I can give on it at this point is its name, and it is Life's Game. So I'm very, very excited. So y'all can stay tuned for that.
That's cool. Now, was the write on that, was that an easy finish for you? Is like you said earlier, it's usually just a day. Was that the same with this one? Just kind of got rolling?
Yeah, it went one day. I wrote it on my way to the doctor's office, which is probably not the best idea. Just typing while looking at my phone. I'm just like, I gotta finish it. But when I'm in the mode to do it, because my for the longest time I really wasn't writing songs, and my mom was like, you kind of need to get on this songwriting ball. And I was like, I'm just not one of those people who can just sit down and come up with something. I have to have something in my life that I feel can touch people's hearts and can be very relatable to them in order to write something. So when that day happened, it was just kind of like, I have to finish this. I have to do it. And I can honestly say that is probably going to be one of the most sentimental songs that I've ever written. I don't think anything will be able to beat that. I honestly do think that is my favorite song that I have written. And it's going to take a while for something to beat that song. But yes, that one it just came so natural, and the words to me just completely flowed onto my phone and onto paper. And I was very, very happy with how it came out.
That's awesome. Well, the Christmas single, Christmas Snow, want to make sure and let folks know. I mean, I'm sure it's available anywhere you pick up your music, but also want to give folks the opportunity if they want to find out more about Makenzie, website, social media, and all that as well.
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Facebook or YouTube just by looking at Makenzie Phipps. If you get on Facebook, I'll be listed under pages, so y'all will see my music page. And then my website is MakenziePhippsMusic.com, and my Instagram is MackeyP143, MACKYP143. And
All right.
Christmas Snow is on all streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, the whole nine yard.
Well, that's awesome. And Mackenzie, it's been great to get to know you a little bit today. I appreciate you taking some time out of your schedule, and hopefully people don't give you too hard a time if you had to skip out on something.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciated getting to talk to you and meet you.